Hey, what is up, Aggie Land? And we welcome you inside the TexAgs studio for episode 4 of Looch and Bock. I'm Gabe Bock, joined each week by the source, Billy Liucci. We're live every Wednesday, high noon, at texags.com/live and the TexAgs YouTube channel. Looch and Bock, presented by Bock Realty Group, luxury, new construction, first-time home buying, investment, real estate, and much more. Email me. Let's have a little conversation about real estate, Aggie football, and much more. Bock Realty Group, turning our experience into your advantage. That email address, Gabe at BockRealtyGroup.com. And right off the top, Billy Liucci, what a moment for the Texas Aggie football program. This is why you play. This is why you coach. But right here is also why you run an entire media empire dedicated to the school you love and have been doing it for so long. It's chasing moments like this, moments like these, like we had throughout the Johnny Manziel era, like that Bama game, like 7 overtimes, like Seth Small in 21, like these moments. Think about being like a Yankee or Red Sox fan and you say somebody's name like Bucky freaking Dent, right? And they know exactly what that means. You say Seth Small and we know exactly what that means. You say 7 OTs or Kendrick.
You say Nate Burkature now?
You say Nate Burkature and we'll never forget South Bend. I don't care what else he did. He had 20 touchdowns this year and be Tyler Warren. And we'll remember Nate Burkature for what happened the other day. You were there. What a moment, man.
Gabe, it was incredible. It was unforgettable. It was fun. It was, like you said, it's rewarding. It's not why you do. There's a million reasons to love this job and what we do and what we built.
Without question.
All these years later, still kicking everybody else's ass.
That's part of it.
Up and down. Well, because everybody wants to claim it on the other side. So we have to sometimes, I have to remind myself we need to point out the reality and the truth.
Yeah.
And the coverage from up there that we had was incredible.
Definitely.
You sink resources into it. We do just like the fans do. You sink time and money and you know, I mean, I don't know. There's always been this thing where we're not supposed to act like we're fans. I think it's the dumbest thing. Anybody outside of here, anybody on another site, anything should ever try to say, because they all are. They can act like they're not. They all are. You pour so much into it, like being able to talk about a victory in a big game, a last-second victory as opposed to a loss, you know, because you mentioned some of the ups. We're there for whether it's App State or Alabama in 2022. Like,
yeah,
you had both. You lost to App State at home, but then you came back and you were on the 1-yard line of Bama. That's what this outing Saturday night reminded you of. Mm-hmm. So we've been through all of it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And the good, the bad, the ugly, not enough of the unforgettable. And the difference, I think, on Saturday night, Gabe, it reminded me more of 2012. You know, and I meant, by the way, I mentioned you're on the 1-yard line against Bama, number 1 or whatever they were ranked. I think they were number 1 at the time. They were
in 2022.
Yeah,
with Jahmyr Gibbs.
You're on the 1-yard line and you can't score on the game's final play. Don't forget Clemson, Jimbo's first year. They're number 1 or 2. I think they were number 2.
The heinous call. Otherwise, you win that game.
Heinous pylon call, but then you're also on. You know, you're going for 2 in the tie, and it gets blown up. Like, we've seen A&M get so close, and you know, like you said, so close yet so far, but not enough. And so when they convert down there, it's like what a difference a play makes. But in my time of those epic A&M victories, what makes this one stand out, and since the Aggies joined the SEC, it stands out alongside 2012 Alabama. And going back into the Big 12, you know, when you beat number 1 OU, you weren't doing anything.
Yeah,
that ended up
our
being
coach got
RC's
fired.
last year.
Right, that was his last win.
Yeah, and they hit a losing skid, but even had they not, they were just playing for bowl positioning.
Yeah.
When you beat Nebraska in '98, it certainly felt like more like this. That was more like this.
Yeah, guys, middle of the year, you had a long way left, but that team was kind of cardiac kids in a lot of ways, just winning tight games. Yeah.
When you beat Texas in the bonfire game, it was cathartic. It was unforgettable in a completely different way. It was the end of the season.
Yep.
When you beat Texas twice under Fran with Stephen McGee leading the way, it was the end of the season. Neither year was anything special.
Right.
I go back now to 2012 Bama. I go back to 98 Nebraska. And I put Saturday's win over Notre Dame with those two games. And the reason why is because it gives you so much hope, right? It gives you so much hope and optimism for where the thing's headed. In 98, they were coming off of Big 12 title games, shellacking at the hands of Bama. Nebraska
the year
97.
Before. That's right.
Then they came back and they won it. They in just a few months' time, they beat them. And it wow, this program could really do. And they did. They won a Big 12. 2012, it was later in the season, but it was like you knew that, wow, our quarterback might win a Heisman, and this is year one under Kevin Sumlin. Where is this heading? And forget about where it went. But at that moment in time, it
finished
just felt
fifth
different.
or sixth in the country that year.
Yeah. Well, I think they finished fourth after the bowl win because A&M's had two top five finishes in the SEC.
People tend to look over that part when they're talking about our recent history.
It's what they do.
No 10-win seasons. Well, they factor in COVID, only had 10 games.
Yeah. And they finished in the top
9-1.
Top 25 or top 5 twice, which we want more, but
of course.
A lot of teams can't say that in that same span. Yeah. Most teams can't. And then, there's what happened Saturday night. And because now all of a sudden, for this year, because of what that offense did, because of that play, because of what that team did and the resolve they showed, defense, obviously, we'll talk about it, was far from perfect, but they showed a lot of resolve too in a lot of key moments of that game. But as a team, they went out there and beat Notre Dame in South Bend on national TV in a moment, in a game that very few people picked A&M to win. And they went out and did it, and they did it in a way, Gabe, that inspires a lot of hope and optimism. And exactly what we said would happen happened. The whole country now has vaulted A&M. They've gone up to number 10. They're mentioning Marcel Reed in these way too early Heisman conversations.
Almost every Heisman conversation right now.
They're talking about A&M. I heard our guy Louie. He's basically saying it'll be a failure if they're not 7-0. I mean, and just looking ahead to this
LSU.
definitive November here. I completely disagree with that because I didn't see enough from this team to chalk up anything.
But that's what makes me excited. They were far from perfect in any of the three levels and borderline horrific on special teams. And still won against a top 10 team on the road, even with all that. And 13 penalties. Special teams
were bad and then were almost amazing and then went back to bad again. Bust that touchdown. I love seeing Terry Bussey become more and more a key part of this team touching the football too, by the way, and we'll talk about that and that skill power. But just the way they won the game, man, with that scoring and that passing game and Marcel playing the way he did and Casey and Mario looking unstoppable. Mario putting 200 on them.
Living up to advanced billing, these two guys.
Video that I love.
How many times you go get a guy and it's just like, where's it at, man? Where is living up to the expectations that might be lofty, but that's what fans do? These guys are blowing out the expectations, in my opinion.
Well, and we didn't know anything about the Aggies until Saturday night.
That's right.
What we did know is that what Mario and KC were doing played. We knew that was going to play in South Bend. I wouldn't have predicted almost 300 yards between them, but I knew they were going to be a problem for even that Notre Dame secondary. You can't cover those guys one-on-one, and if Marcel's on, and he doesn't even have to be perfect, as he wasn't, because they're snagging passes. I mean, had he hit, he went for 400 yards of total offense, basically 397. Had he hit that pass to KC down the left sideline out of the end zone, which I thought was a ballsy, brilliant call.
Yeah.
Perfect protection. If he hits that, that's another 100. You're talking about a 500-yard night.
Then he's number one on everybody's list today.
Yeah, and people forget, how close A&M, they can talk, Notre Dame fans can talk and they're talking through it right now, and they're really attacking Chris Ash and the defense. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because their numbers against Miami weren't bad. I mean, what A&M did compared to what Miami did to the same defense, you can't even compare the two. I mean, it is a big difference, and you think Shannon Dawson, Carson Beck, no comparison to what Colin Klein and Marcel Reed and company did.
It was a bad night for their secondary when you went away from 15.
Well, yeah, for sure. But they went at Miami. They gave up a game-winning field goal drive, right? And at A&M, they gave up a game-winning touchdown. So that's in their heads right now. But man, you know what? You gift them a punt block for a TD, and you go total complete defensive bust on a wheel route. That's 14 points for them. You miss what should be a 97, 98-yard touchdown. Not to mention that Marcel could probably show you passes he wished he had back. That game could have actually been one-sided in the favor of the visiting team. If you really want to go and break that thing down and look at it.
And it started feeling like that early.
Yeah.
When you're 7-0 immediately, 14-7, then you throw a pick and they got a ball and a shot at the end zone, looked like a touchdown. You were so close to being 21-7
I'm saying it felt like when you go back and rethink that game, A&M could have blown them out.
Oh, okay, I can see that too.
But you're right. Early on.
Right. He felt like, oh, shoot, this is kind of, here we go.
Yeah, when it was 17-7, you had to score. You did.
Exactly.
When it was 7-0 and they got the ball, you had to get a stop. You did. They hung in. They weathered the early storm on the road. And guess what, Gabe?
That's right.
That's a bye week. That's a national championship game participant coming off a loss and being desperate. That's their first home game since they played for the Natty. That is an extra week to prepare. And that crowd was really loud.
Seemed like an awesome atmosphere.
Raucous. It was an awesome atmosphere because you almost had a little bit of a bowl atmosphere when you could hear you go listen to that touchdown pass, you can hear the Notre Dame crowd when Reed's pressured, and then you can hear the quiet and then the A&M crowd after they realized it was a catch for a touchdown. It was a really cool environment because so many Aggies showed up, but Notre Dame, tip of the cap to the Irish fans, they brought it, and I see a lot of their fans saying, okay, why can't we do this every week? We need to do this every week because they have a reputation of not being the loudest, most intimidating environment. I would not have ever known that if I was just judging what I saw on Saturday night. I thought their fans and the atmosphere in there was very SEC road game at night feel to it.
And I thought the team wearing maroon and white looked like a Dan Campbell type team, who I think their motto is grit, and I think that team across the street's motto is grit, and it doesn't always go your way. But they look like a team biting off kneecaps. They look like a team that just figured out, okay, well, shoot, another punch in the stomach. What are we going to do about not scoring the game go-ahead touchdown with about 2.5 minutes left with our kick return? Well, we're just going to continue to stay in the fight. And be the last freaking team standing. And that's exactly what happened.
That was so awesome, by the way, to see them. It was so awesome to see them take that gut shot when that flag went down. And I was behind that return on that sideline. And so I immediately saw the flag. And it's just like, we all know the feeling.
Before he even caught the ball.
And he houses it, you know. And honestly, though, Gabe, for as much as us covering this team or guys in that locker room or Mike Elko even, or especially the fans, and we're among them, as much as we've seen that cost A&M a football game, I truly did not feel that it would. When they got the ball, I said, they're going to go down and score. And when Craver caught that pass across the middle, and I said, man, they're definitely scoring. I did get a little, my faith was shaken. My faith was shaken when it was 3rd and 10 because Notre Dame looked really locked in on 1st and 2nd down. So by about 3rd down, I'm going, and then that one goes incomplete. I think it was 2nd down, was almost picked.
It was incomplete after a loss.
Yeah, the
QB
run
for a loss,
and the 2nd down pass was almost picked. and then third down was low in the middle, which it had to be, or that would have been picked too. And you're just going, damn, there's no way. And I knew. So I'm about to see what I've seen 100 times, which is the other team running off and celebrating. I'm just going to be standing there watching it like this. And it's going to be the same conversation we have, because there would have been reason for like some level of optimism going into the SEC when you look around this league and blah, blah, blah. It would have sucked.
But that sucker wearing number 10 is got some clutch factor to it, man. We saw it even in losses where he just is going to rise up and make a play or two or three in crunch time to help your team win. Sometimes you give it back up. Sometimes the other team's got a little time and they give it back up. But that sucker right there has got some serious gamer to his portfolio.
In his
it's unbelievable.
last 4 games against Power 5 teams, he's led A&M to go ahead score in the closing moments of the game. The last time he touched the ball against Auburn before overtime, he came to the sideline after a touchdown drive to take the lead. Okay, defense, you get a stop, the game's over. Against USC, he ran into the end zone with like a minute and 45 or so left from behind in both those games. Said, okay, offense, here you go. Or okay, defense, here you go. We won the game for you. And he did it again on Saturday night in South Bend. And you add those 3 to even coming back on the road from down 17-3 at South Carolina last year against a great defense. I think they've taken a huge step backwards defensively. But last year, to do it against that defense in that environment, you go back to, hey, Marcel, second half of LSU, I know you didn't get starter reps all week, but now we need you. Okay, I'll go score you 4 touchdowns.
Go make ball plays.
And,
no doubt, man.
And even at Arkansas last year, fourth quarter, you see all this talk about Taylor Green right now. One guy made some big mistakes in the fourth quarter. The other guy didn't. At Jerry World. It's your second ever SEC start. That doesn't get enough credit for just being poised and calm. And then obviously, hey, morning of, we're going to start you today at the Swamp. And by the way, we have to win this game because we've already lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah, and we need you to score quick because there's about to be a 3-hour weather delay.
Yeah. Every step along the way.
I know.
This guy has showed the clutch, competitive, calm gene. It's those 3 things.
That's it.
He's calm, he's clutch, he's competitive, and as the kids say, he's got a lot of aura.
Boy, does he ever.
And so do those guys he's throwing and handing the football to.
Yeah, and you could tell he was amped early, but settling in and just getting that little pass out to Craver, that little wheel route was great, and he did the rest, and that settles you down. Yeah. From there, look, tell me who is a perfect product, right? You think Gunner Stockton or Green, these guys are John Mateer's pretty daggone good.
But John Mateer's played one game.
Yeah, that mattered.
Right. So he's the same as Marcel.
Yeah.
Marcel against Utah State and UTSA is pretty dang good.
That's what gets me most excited for him.
2 vomitous teams and was pretty dang good. And they both, we've got, and I know you're saying this, we've got a really good one.
Yes,
right here in College Station.
100%.
And we said that the whole off season.
Best one we've had since the Magic Man was running around here.
Yeah. You didn't have to rate him number 1. Nobody asked you to. Nobody on an A&M fan base was demanding Marcel to be on any all-conference team. All we were saying, all I was saying is he's better than what people think. His body of work last year is better, like the tape and the results and all the things we just talked about are better than people are giving him credit for. And then this summer, I talked about this yesterday, the weirdest damn thing I've ever seen our online fan base do, which can be the most toxic group that I deal with in my day-to-day life. And they went fully toxic on Marcel and Colin Klein and Terry Bussey based on a few practice clips that were very misleading in terms of not, I don't think intentionally, but when they were in practice without true context until after the fact, after the mob had converged. But this dude had a really, and I said it You can go back and look. He had a great fall camp. Not good, but great. And, you and I know, like over time, you never know how that's going to translate. He was terrific in camp. And those playmakers, and you still haven't seen Ashton Bethel Roman, and he's going to do stuff too. Amari Niblack can do more, and he will. He almost had, that was one of the other overthrows. That would have been a long touchdown.
Yeah, what if he beat his
on
guy?
The next possession.
Yeah, it was.
So all of that was true because it was happening, and you could see it, and you'd be a complete dodo to not notice it.
Don't get a lot of dodo these days, do you, Nick?
And not talk about it. Like, if you were scared to talk up what you were seeing in camp from this offense, then you let the mob win. You let what everybody else around the SEC was telling you win. If you saw it, or you just chose to not believe people you subscribe to. But that offense.
I didn't believe South Carolina's defense stunk. Turns out you were right.
Yeah,
here I am.
I know more about A&M than I do South Carolina,
well,
so that was a little more
guess. I'm giving you some credit. I've had some real clunkers already through 4 weeks.
That was a little more guesswork. I also thought Sellers and Nussmeier were going to be the two best quarterbacks in the league.
Well, the entire country had it flipped.
Yeah.
The guys have been great, other than Batir.
Yeah.
Have not been the ballyhooed ones going. The guys that have been really.
I did say the other. I will say I was pretty adamant that the other guy that wasn't getting near enough love was Diego Pavia. And if the season ended today, I think that guy should be in New York. Which he may have been. I noticed he was in Nashville last night with Johnny. Well, Johnny posted an Instagram. He was out with Pavia. So
it's Theo Vaughn, Johnny's Diego, Diego's mom, and Johnny
and maybe eventually maybe Tate McRae here soon enough.
Right.
They're trying to set that date up. That's hilarious.
Not that I know who she is, but
I'm surprised the kids don't like. I'm surprised
Ella, I think, heard her.
Yeah, she's in that age group. Although Callie went and saw her in concert last night in Austin.
Oh, so really? Okay.
I think
Callie. I assume that's a singer. Tate.
It's like a modern day. It's like a modern day Britney Spears.
Oh, okay.
Not
your friend, Britney.
Yeah.
TexAgs own Britney Spears.
Britney was. Tate McRae's not Britney in terms of like the impact and just bursting on it. Tate McRae exists because of Britney.
Sure.
But she's
by the way, Britney is going full-blown Charlie Sheen, by the way.
And I saw Charlie Sheen get interviewed recently where he is no longer going full Charlie Sheen.
Exactly.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. He's 7 years sober. He's got that Netflix documentary.
What's the world coming to?
Yeah, pretty wild.
But anywho, look, what they did offensively, Le'Veon Moss, we talked about Marcel. Le'Veon went out there and was as good as Jeremiah Love.
Loved it. You could tell that was important to him.
Yep.
He stood toe-to-toe.
You saw him do the whole
broken heart. Is that what he's doing?
He did the same thing that was Love's celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And man, down on the goal line, you weren't tackling him. And you realize what you missed last year when Texas came here and we played Auburn, and you talk about that South Carolina. Like that dude, when he don't want to be tackled, and there's a couple Notre Dame defenders that are feeling number 8 still today, a few days later. But he ran the ball on the same level as Love, who's a bona fide All-American, great player. Had some that catch he made was incredible for a running back on full speed
for sure.
And your boy
Price, man,
Jadari Price.
Yep,
is a freaking stud.
He doesn't really take a back seat much. They're co-pilots.
Is that the best tailback duo A&M will face this year?
Well, I would think so.
I think it is.
Off the cuff.
I think it's the best individual back and the best duo, and I think their O-line. Their O-line will be up
doesn't have a backup.
No,
Mizzou.
Their O-line, Hardy's a stud too, but their O-line will be as good as anybody. And by the way, if you put Jeremiah Love in that Missouri offense and what they're doing, can I say something about Mizzou?
You can say anything you want. We don't even have commercials.
They look really good. Them and Arkansas look really good offensively.
Yeah,
I think Arkansas has actually been tested more so than Mizzou. Arkansas at least had to do it against Ole Miss. And that ain't last year's Ole Miss defense, but
no,
Missouri's I get that game worries me against this A&M defense. That defense has to come a long way, we'll talk about that momentarily. But their best opponent is Kansas so far.
Which is scary, but not good.
And if they get South Carolina without Sellers, I don't want to hear that either.
Yeah.
If through 4 games, it's crazy.
I agree. You know what I loved about it while we're kind of bouncing around? I guarantee you, Marcel Reed sitting there and he saw what Wiggy did. And everybody's talking about that. And he saw what Haynes King freaking did, elevated himself into the Heisman race and the toughest bitch.
How cool is that?
In the entire country.
Yep.
And maybe best leader. And now it's like, all right, now all eyes are on me. Is it going to be the former QBs or is it going to be the current QB that's going to go have a night? Not to be outdone. Number 10.
I don't think he thought that, but I think we were all thinking it.
Competitor.
We were all thinking it.
Oh yeah.
I think he was more looking at that Notre Dame defense and saying in a national TV spotlight. And Marcel's this unique blend of wanting that, and he's got you saw him before the game dancing and he's got flair to his game. He's also tough as hell. Played hurt in that one. You saw him get hurt against Utah State. Obviously he's not all the way back a week later. Played hurt. Took it to we saw vicious hits down there on the goal line, and then that helmet to helmet that knocked him out for a play. 2 vicious hits, and came back and threw a game-winning touchdown. So he's a nice blend of calm, cool, collected, but also enough style, plenty of style to his game, and also his personality. When he scores, he's finding the cameras, and his teammates are finding him, and just the whole thing. He's got that, like I said, there's a lot of aura about him.
There really is.
But, man, nobody's got more aura than 1 and 7. And those 2 guys are so exciting to watch. It's like the toughness of Le'Veon and Concepcion and Craver. You don't talk about that part of them because they're so flashy. Those 3 dudes they don't want to be tackled. And if you try to tackle them, they will fight you. They'll fight through you. They'll fight through an arm tackle. They'll spin like Craver did and stay on their feet. Concepcion is like, I'm going to go 11 feet in the air to catch a ball. You can hit me in the back. I don't give a damn. And so they're as tough as they are electric. But I don't think there's a more electric duo in college football than that. And if you start ranking skill position players in college football, skill unit, and you go Reed, Moss, Concepcion, Craver, and that's just, and Bussey's right there too. And that's just, I would put Bussey in there too because just what he's showing even on special teams. Right? Oh, yeah. He had a 50-yard kick return called back, and I don't know if it was 100, but 90-something yard kick return called back already, and some almost broken punt returns. That collection, and that doesn't count the backup running backs, and you can look at the numbers they've put up. That doesn't count guys like Niblack and Morrow and Bethel Roman, who are going to show soon. But A&M skill position guys would rate very highly. Being conservative, I would call it top 5 in the country. And when's the last time we could say that?
A long time. Go back to Mansell.
At least 2013.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
and
definitely
that makes you cool. When you're receivers, when you have great receivers, Alabama was really cool winning national championships in 10, 11. They had one guy on the outside really doing it in Cooper. But they were really cool when Wiggins got there after Billy Napier and made them some absolute machine NFL types on the outside. And the guy that won, did he coach the Heisman winner, Smith? I don't know if he did or not.
Who, Holman? I think he did, actually. Yeah, I think he did.
That's when they became incredibly cool.
Yeah, he did.
Which is going to beget more players. More players are going to want to come be a part of what's happening right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, imagine wide receiver recruiting. A&M's fighting Auburn for, trying to flip really highly rated Jace Matthews, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should see the numbers right now. I think Luke did it comparing, Craver and Singleton and Nick Anderson were 3 of the highest regarded portal transfers at receiver, and the numbers don't even compare between Concepcion and especially Cravers. Cravers blown past all of them. So, yeah, I think that's pretty significant. But, again, man, this is not a secret if you're across the street. They've been really excited about this offense the whole offseason, and Colin Klein has been particularly excited about what they can do. And you're just seeing what they thought would happen.
Let's go defense for a minute, Billy. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought A&M showed significant improvement against the run. They didn't let them just go off and totally dominate and control the entirety of that football game. They did enough for sure to make Carr have to beat you, and give him credit. He made some throws. He also made some mistakes. But put them in some of those third and long type situations. They weren't sitting there living in 3rd and 2. And a lot of times when they were, A&M went in and made some stops when it really mattered. Some big time plays there.
I thought
the defensive side of the ball.
I thought the defensive stops on short yardage were massive, and that was what you knew. You knew there had to be some level of bend, don't break. 3rd and 1 TFL by Williams and Hicks. 4th and 1. Love stuffed him. They did Wildcat like 7 times. It was effective on a couple, but they stuffed it on that 4th down. That was Ratcliffe and
Sanford, right?
That was Ratcliffe and Sanford who came off the bench and had a terrific game. I said earlier with Sean Porter, Ratcliffe, Sanford, and Coley. I mean Sanford, Coley. Sanford, Coley, and there's one other who am I thinking of that came off the bench, weren't expected to. Oh, no, it was Amari Daniels. 15 reps, 1 touch. He's out there blocking his ass off. You know who was on the field at tailback on the game's final play? It was
Amari Daniels. That's right.
These guys are like, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. Damian, Scooby's hurt. We need you. Okay.
He was a man.
7 tackles, 2 TFLs, a sack. Drive-killing sack, and a 4th down stop. Okay. Nick's bringing us some waters. I'd like to try to catch it.
He can't see.
I know. Oh.
There you go. No, I'm good. I brought some.
Sure, let's go.
You need a third bottle? Look at that.
All right. So.
Shocking skills for a guy that's blind, no?
You know there are 2 things I can do. Maybe 3.
Throw and catch.
Throw and catch and make trash can baskets.
Yeah, you're borderline dude perfect when it comes to paper
even
wads.
Trick shots of any, even with that ball out there, trick shots, but not real basketball shooting.
No.
It's weird.
Yes.
I don't know what there's some sort of, what they say, F around and find out. Like, I'm really good. It's like I'm good at pool basketball and shooting. You get me on a court, it ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
But no, defensively, let's go back to that because that was like 4th down stop. I thought was the play of the game that Sanford and Sanford and Ratcliffe were in.
And gets lost in the moment of all these other plays and moments. That was a significant play. Significant. At that point.
So think about that play, that sack right before halftime that almost got you 3 points, but it definitely probably saved you 3. Notre Dame looked like they were moving in for a late field goal that would have really been disappointing because they were also getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter. It was a momentum type thing.
That was a freshman that just kind of lost his head for a second with that clap.
Yeah.
I thought we were about to take advantage of that.
And twice you had twice you stopped them. So A&M, here's a game. Little things that matter in a football game. Every little thing matters, but Le'Veon Moss 3 touchdowns. A&M, including the game-winning pass, was 4 for 4 when they got inside the 11. They were 3 for 3 down on the goal line. Notre Dame's kicker kicked. They both attempted field goals, but Bonds were 43, 45, and over 50.
That was a weapon. It's good to see him bounce back.
Notre Dame's field goals were 22 and 39. They were closer in. You bent but didn't break. You made them kick 2 field goals. You got 2 4th down stops, and you got that 3rd and 1 that had it even been no gain, they're going for it. But you blew it up. That's 5 times where Notre Dame could have potentially had either points or more points, and you stopped them. So, and you forced a turnover. You almost forced 2. Cassius Howell almost made a great play. You almost forced two. You did force one.
Well, also credit Dalton Brooks breaking up his own interception from Ratcliffe on the second to last play of the game. Could have been a third.
Yeah, that's true.
But Brooks is going to hit first and think second.
Yeah.
He is.
I need to see Brooks get his hands on some footballs because I think he's a special talent.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think as he had some mistakes early in that game. I think he and Ratcliffe both in terms of how they were taking on blocks and Elko, beelined it over there. The chair may or may not have, been a casualty of that. But I thought both those guys played a lot better as the game went on. They definitely did. But, look, there's some real concern for me. Two things. We don't know the severity of Scooby's injury. He didn't return. I didn't like the way that looked. I'm not, I've thought something's minor that ends up being season ending. You see a guy walk off on his own power and try to go back in the game, and then next thing you know, he's done for the year.
Well, case in point, you think Bryce Anderson might play before Scooby. That's wild. You wouldn't have thought that Saturday night.
Yeah, and I don't know anything on Scooby yet. I'm not even going to bother to try to find out until, there's got to be more testing. They let swelling go down. But it didn't look good to me. I'm nervous about that one until, again, like, I'm not saying I know. I'm not being coy. Like, I'm nervous about it from what you all saw and I saw on the field. They need him. He's one of the guys that really flies around and makes a difference. He's a really good player.
Definitely.
That's a concern. Regardless of how Damian played, like, that's still a concern. There's a reason Scooby's your starter. And my other concern, which is really significant, is I just think they actually matched up better with this team than they're going to. You look at Auburn and Jackson Arnold as a running quarterback, and then those wide receivers and their ability to get behind you. You look at Mississippi State and Chapin and Edwards and Brennan Thompson, vertical. You look at right now, I will not say Florida. I know we all fear good Lagway, and that's weeks away. But
Lagway threw for 90%. He threw 74% to his own guys and an extra 15% to their team.
Wow,
unbelievable.
And then you've got, on down the road, you got Arkansas and what they're doing, and you got Missouri. We're not even talking about Texas, LSU, and South Carolina, who all have the potential in Sellers, Nussmeier, and I don't want to even include Arch because those guys have actually proven stuff, but that Texas is skilled talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all three of those could end up being really good offenses. They haven't been right now for a litany of reasons, but the better offenses are the ones you're about to play before those last, or three of those last four conference games. So this defense has to get better now. Notre Dame, Gabe, had dudes wide open. On the flip side, one touchdown was a complete mental bust, and it was one of Scooby's bad plays. We mentioned the good ones, the interception, the drive killer on fourth. But that one, he failed to even pick up their best player coming out of the backfield.
Yep.
You pick him up, and they got him on a flea flicker. Those two plays were you go run that game through again, and those two plays very well might not happen.
And 7 more points where a guy that blocked 3 kicks last year. You decided not to block him.
Yeah. Those are mental.
Yeah.
Those 2 touchdowns or one wasn't a touchdown, it led directly to one. But those 2 plays were not physical plays. Those were mental.
Yeah.
And those are correctable.
Go back to the chair. I looked it up. When Bobby Knight threw that chair, Indiana lost. They lost that day. They lost to Purdue that day. When Elko comes back to Notre Dame and throws that chair, I'm not sure if it was more on the bust or it was more on Ricks hitting Love after he was 6 steps out of bounds. You might have known. You were right there. I watched on TV. I couldn't tell who he was yelling at. Maybe multiple people. But point is,
I think it was I genuinely think it was a safety play.
Yeah. Well, he goes back. By the time he can get back to coaching the game on the sideline, Reed's just throwing a pick.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now it's a sudden change opportunity right after the chair, after a bust, after hitting the guy 6 steps out of bounds. and you're on the brink at that point.
What was the score then?
14-7. And they got the ball deep in your kind of deep, midway into your territory.
Yep.
And he's been struggling, but that was a moment that Will Lee stepped up. And I think that was Fields.
That was in the end zone?
In the end zone.
Yeah, that was
Fields. A huge pass breakup.
If you go rewatch that play, you'll see me standing lonely all by myself in the end zone there. And I have a great video, actually, of that play. And, he didn't break it up. He didn't break it up with his front hand. He actually used his right hand kind of ripping that thing out of there. It was a great defensive play.
Yep.
And that's it. Will Lee didn't have a great night. He hasn't gotten off to a great start to the season. He needs to be better. But he saved them 4 points on that play. And he made a couple other good plays in that game too, but it was just he's got to get better. He's got to be one of the standouts on this defense. And on the flip side, I think Des Ricks is off to a terrific.
Boy, is he ever.
And now everybody's seeing the numbers and they're posting PFF, and it's like, let's, so many of these people like to hold this. You said this, it didn't happen. You go back to this baseball season or something. Start pointing it out. Like, call it both ways, as they say.
Yeah.
I've been telling you, Des Ricks is one of the most improved players, if not the most improved player on this football team, period. Also on that short list might be DJ Hicks. He's been playing, I think, really well. And Regis was the defensive lineman of the week for the SEC.
Could have picked.
You could have picked Onyedim.
Yeah.
Made some big play. Those three guys were dudes.
Yes.
And that was
That's our man TJE coaching him up right there.
Yeah. And that was Tony. Yeah. That was a check your man card here. Notre Dame's going to come at you. They're going to run at you time and time again. They're going to give it to Love and Price. Win. Beat blocks. Make tackles. Don't just be out there. Because if they start getting to the second, third level, we're going to get our asses kicked. And they had none of it. And between them, for three interior defenders to have 18 tackles between them is really, really strong. And they made some impactful plays, too. They made plays behind the line. That's another thing.
Hicks shot through that line on that tackle for loss.
Yeah, with Scooby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Scooby tripped him up, and somebody had to finish it, and he knifed through there.
Yeah. This is what he was here to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes you a while. This is a grown man's league. It's darn near NFL football.
Yeah. Well, it's also, you got great players ahead of you a lot of times.
Yeah.
He had Shamar Turner, and now it's pretty clear Regis is an NFL guy.
That's right.
Credit guys like Hicks for kind of biding their time and getting their opportunity.
Safe to say the three most improved returning players, because I wrote this down. I was going to make it a question. Des Ricks, DJ Hicks, and Marcel Reed. I couldn't think of anybody that I think that's tier one, and then you can go to the Ratcliffes and some of these other guys.
Ratcliffe would have been
and
one
Sanford.
of my next ones. Well, Sanford so far it's one half of a game. He's got I think Damien's got to be a guy. I love his plus plays and the range and the athleticism, but he's also got to be a guy that down in, down out can be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the bust and the blown assignments. Because talent-wise, he's elite. Effort-wise, he's elite. Athleticism, elite. So, yeah, and it might be an instance of a guy just plays more football, like game reps. And he's had something. He's an experienced player. So, I was happy for him, though. When you get your number called and you come out and play like that.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. All right, let's do this. Go to the SEC, Billy. Buy, sell, rent, presented by the Aria Luxury Condos in College Station. We're selling these condos over there right by Welborn and Holloman. 3-minute drive. You can scooter over in about 5 minutes to Olson. And just outstanding what they're doing over there with all the renovated units. We're selling units, buildings, everything. So reach out to me again, Gabe at BachRealtyGroup.com if you're interested. Investments, short-term rental, you name it.
Sounds like a hell of an investment.
It's a good deal,
kids
man.
coming here, or if you want something for game days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's great. Got to come see the complex. Come play and have fun on that golf simulator we're installing. Pretty stinking awesome. All right, on the buy category.
Okay.
See if we're going with this. We don't talk about any of this ever.
Yeah.
So where are you
Who am I
going
buying?
Team or player? SEC.
Man, I may have said this last week. I think I did. I'm buying Vandy and Diego Pavia.
Exactly what I said.
Buying Clark Lee, man.
Yep.
Buying Anchor Down. They 30-7? Is that the score?
Yeah. Were you there when Clark Lee said at SEC Media Days 2 years ago they're going to be the best team in the country? Well, they're not that. Diego's calling his shot as a national champion. They're not that, but man, they're a good football
He's done an
team.
amazing job, and I said they're going to upset somebody. We're 3 weeks in; they've already done it. Okay, so let me say it again: they're going to upset somebody else. It might not be an upset.
Exactly.
They might go into Austin and win. If they were playing this week, I'm going to say this. We'll talk about sell in a second, but I'm buying Vandy and Diego Pavia, and man. I know there's other ones to buy. Obviously, people around the country are buying A&M and Marcel Reed right now. We're just talking the rest of the league. I'm buying Pavia and Vandy.
Yeah, I mean, this, just for clarity, this category is really a non-A&M talking category. Because we're talking about everything else. And I'm 100% with you. I'll show you my notes. I said, there's not a more fun team to root for. SEC Shorts is all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Vandy is cool right now. And Diego Pavia is making Vandy cool, like Johnny Manziel, Cliff Kingsbury and company made A&M cool. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. They're fun. Portal. I think they'll be 5-0 going to Bama week 6.
And can absolutely beat Bama.
Yeah.
Could absolutely win in Austin. Could absolutely beat Tennessee. Like, here's the deal. Vandy's schedule, do they play Georgia?
No. They play 5 ranked teams in a row, but guess what? They're ranked too.
They're going to lose.
Yeah.
But Vandy's schedule, there's not a team that you look at today, kind of like where A&M is. You can look at A&M's schedule, there's not a team you can say they can't win that game. It's the same with Vandy. LSU.
At home.
They play
Missouri at
LSU.
home.
Do they play Oklahoma or not? No.
Oh, they got Auburn at home. Kentucky at home. They go at Tennessee and they host Auburn.
Vandy can win every game they play. I don't think they won't, because I think they'll be in a lot of close ones, and you tend to kind of split. Just
guess what? I'm gonna find out what time they play every single week. These are all really interesting games right now.
That dude's a magician. He's a winner. He's a winner, and they believe they can win every game, and that is you cannot say that about a lot of teams in this conference right now.
All right, in the sell category, who are you selling?
I'm selling Texas and Arch Manning. I am. I watched some of that game, and I kind of followed how it went. You know, you can go back, you can sell something and go back and maybe reinvest later. But
I've sold all my South Carolina stock.
Yeah,
remember I bought them 2 weeks ago.
True, and that's, but Texas, Gabe, they're not. They scored 27 points against San Jose State. If there's one thing Texas and Sark could always do, it's light up an inferior opponent where they just outspeed and out-athlete them and make them look bad and pad stats and give the Longhorn fans false hope, false sense of security. They couldn't even do that. And he looked
was
bad.
Right in there at halftime.
I said San Jose, yeah. But San Jose, it was a lot of the same.
But he looked bad on pitch and catch stuff like you do out in the front yard of your Garden District in New Orleans house.
Terrible red zone interception. He's not a confident quarterback right now. I guess you could hold on to it and think of the upside later, but I'm selling. And again, you're selling Texas based on what preseason expectations were. I'm not saying they're not going to get better. They can't win games, but I'm very convinced that Oklahoma beats them in a couple weeks, and I don't think Texas will lose at Florida. Last I checked, Florida's defense is pretty good. LSU scored 20. Their offense scored 13 in Baton Rouge. And even in that loss to South Florida where they give up 18. Their defense is pretty good. So
they gave up a touchdown and a field goal off 5 picks. That's unheard of.
Yeah, so you can't.
Also screams to LSU's offensive issues. Yeah. Now, rent can happen in reverse, like a team you thought about buying, now you're only renting, or maybe a team.
Now?
Well, I'll only sell Blagway because you went to Texas. I was going to see how you were going to go there. But 5 picks, 5 picks. Yeah. You're the chosen one. I don't really care where you are and what kind of defense you're playing. You can't throw 5 picks. At some point, tuck the ball and run. At some point, Napier, figure out a way to get some pitch and catch opportunities and not have this guy put the ball in peril. But I'm not even sure how or why we're talking about Napier still having a job.
Yeah, I'm about to say Gainesville's selling.
Vegas.
They're selling Napier's house.
Yes.
I'm sure there were a lot of for sale signs in that yard this week.
Oh, yeah. Staples Real Estate Group over there.
Yeah, I don't see how he's coaching when they come here in a few weeks, because in between they got Miami and Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm now suddenly interested for very different reasons in that Texas game.
Who am I renting?
Yeah, rent.
I'm renting. I'm doing a little more than renting, but I'm renting. I'm renting Missouri.
Oh, okay.
I almost rented Tennessee.
Okay. There's a lot of places you can
Tennessee
rent right
showed me a lot this weekend, even in the loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tennessee is one of the best teams in the SEC. But again, how good is Georgia? But that looked like high-level football, back and forth, back. But you also got carved up by Gunnar Stockton. What does that mean today? We don't know. Later in the year, it might mean, damn, that guy hadn't had a game like that since, and you guys got picked apart by him.
Or maybe he's really good and we just didn't want to believe it.
Yeah. And I don't even not want to believe it. I just show me a little more.
Agree.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that felt like high level. It felt like you were watching. I think it's safe to say we were watching two of at least the better teams in the league. I'm not calling for that to be a title game rematch just yet. But I'm renting, Gabe. I'm renting Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Scary offense.
They just eyeball test. They spread you out. They can run it. They can throw it. Quick game. They can break tackles, make plays. They throw it vertical. Quarterback's on fire. I said this about the A&M offense. I didn't care that it was Utah State or UTSA. You can tell it was good. You can tell this Missouri offense is really good. And defensively, they look good as well. But I'm not going all in until they're actually tested by somebody better than Kansas.
Which won't be this week, South Carolina at home, then UMass. But it's Bama 3 weeks from now.
If they don't play Sellers this weekend, look, if Sellers plays and finishes the game and they rock their world, it does mean something. Even though, I'm down on South Carolina, but it does mean something. But if he doesn't and they go South Carolina without him and UMass, that is still a completely untested team that is deserving of nothing yet. But I'm watching them, and they look good. They look good.
Yeah, they do. They pass the eye test. I'll tell you who else passed the eye test. Is I'm renting Oklahoma, and it has nothing to do with a 42-3 road win at Temple, which begs the question, why is OU going to Temple?
Yeah.
This thing I didn't just –
weird schedule.
That had to be like, oh, wow, we're in the SEC on only 3.5 years' notice, and we got to scramble and pick up a game, or whatever the notice was. I'm renting it because I think they got one of the 3 best quarterbacks in college football, and because they've only allowed 1 touchdown in 3 games, and because I think their schedule sets up very well, especially for Texas. Now, am I renting them to win the SEC? No, but I'm renting them to be about 8-0 at the halfway point going into November.
Yep.
Because I think they're going to beat Texas bad.
I do too.
I really
think
do.
The defense is going to cause that. We talked about Arch. I think they're going to cause that Texas O-line real problems. And, Texas is still good on defense, but I think OU can do enough, especially if their defense is just locking down. It might look similar to last year's game, but in reverse. Mm-hmm. That Texas defense just completely controlled the game and the offense just over the course of 60 minutes, even though OU got off to like a good defensive start. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm. There you go, buy, sell, rent, thanks to the ARIA luxury condos in College Station. I think we should draft the playoff. We'll do this kind of quick. We didn't do it last week because really not a whole lot changed, but now we've had 2 weeks of data and a whole lot of stuff has changed.
You got a pen?
I'll take the odd numbers this time. That means you get to close it out.
Okay.
So I kind of got the easy one, I think. I'm going Ohio State. I mean, I hadn't been totally impressed with their offensive production other than the Grambling game, of course, but only 14 points against Texas. So, and only 37 against Ohio, but I think the defense has been great. Patricia's got it rolling here. 'Cause I think he's doing child's play.
Yeah.
He's like, I can confuse an 18-year-old and 20-year-old quarterback. So they got weapons all over there, the defending champs. So I'll make that one quick. Ohio State one.
And I'll make the second one quick. I know who you're gonna. I think I know who you're gonna take it.
I have some curveballs.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go Miami too.
Ooh.
Just here's why. They've done more than LSU. I think Notre Dame is the best team out of any that those two have played. Better than Clemson, better than Florida, better than Clemson in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
Definitely.
that so Miami with a win over Notre Dame, and I think South Florida they've got 2 wins that matter to me.
They steamrolled
LSU they have one. I wonder if that's none. I go Miami too. That for right now, based off what they've accomplished on the field.
I mean, you have Michael Irvin down there weekly doing all kinds of gyrations. Like it feels like the beginning of the return of the good old days.
Yeah.
They're not quite as talented as those teams, but it sure feels like they got a chance to make some noise.
Yep.
Man, this team has not played anybody yet.
Yeah.
But when you hadn't played anybody, you better handle your stinking business. And so I'll just take the layup and go Penn State.
Yeah.
I mean, they hadn't done anything that impresses you. Tyler Warren's gone. Abdul Carter's gone. But they're beating the teams on their schedule the way you're supposed to if you're preseason ranked number 2.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't done anything to drop off. That's so boring. I can't stand I just picked 2 Big Ten teams in a row. But they were right there for the taking. So give me
and if you're going to do that, I think I'm going to go at 4 with, again, there's a team out there that's just lingering that should probably be picked soon, but I'm going to go with Georgia. Just you go on the road into Neyland Stadium and you win a game you fall behind on early and it's a shootout. They were down by 14 at one point, and it's a shootout and you win the way you win and you've got the track record and the credit in the bank built up that Kirby Smart has. And I'm going to go Georgia there. That was a really impressive win for them. Hard for me to put Georgia ahead of other teams that haven't really played anyone yet or below. So I have Georgia next.
Yeah, you give
personally, I probably would have I think I would have put them 3rd.
Yeah, if you'd done your own.
Yep.
All right, man. I'm all
Number
in.
5.
I can't do it. Actually, I'm going to. I'm going to just leave I'm just going to leave all the non-Big Ten teams to you, and I can't justify leaving the Ducks out of the top 5 the way they're winning right now. So I'm in on Dan Lanning, have been for a while. He gets players with the Nike money, but he builds culture. Like the team's tough, they're physical, they're fast, and they're confident. I think they got a legit quarterback too. He didn't get a lot. He got a lot of short fields last week.
Yeah,
so his numbers didn't look great.
Sleptwalk through 11. I almost went to that game.
Did you really?
I was talking to my people at Oregon. There. I was in Chicago.
Yeah,
and I was like, man, I might just go to the first quarter of that game, be down there on the field, get a feel for this Oregon speed, and
that would have been awesome.
And then we weren't leaving for South Bend until 12:30. The game was at 11. I was like, I could do it, but then Friday night got away from me a little bit, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So breakfast was more important.
Okay, good.
So, but yeah, I wanted to see him, but yeah, they walk through that thing. 11 a.m. against a bad team. I don't know how many fans were there. Probably not a lot.
Probably not a lot.
They have as good a chance to win at Natty as anybody. I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't justify not putting them in the top 5.
Yeah.
Now it's about to get interesting. Who do you have 6?
I think at 6, just from watching, I think at 6 I would go. If they played tomorrow, who would win? The teams I'm thinking of 6 and 7.
Yep.
And I'm actually going to go Florida State.
All right.
I'm going FSU at 6.
Because Bama's done enough now.
Bama has looked better. I think people are getting carried away with it. I think Wisconsin really stinks.
Yeah.
But I'm going FSU.
Okay. FSU coming in.
So I think I know who you got at 7.
Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm going Texas A&M.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Texas A&M over LSU, and here's why. I mean, if we're going to give LSU all this credit for beating Clemson, okay, and Clemson struggled in a pillow fight with Troy. Don't forget about that. I know they're men. They struggle with the men of Troy. And a heinous Florida team, in which they scored 1 touchdown and 1 field goal off 5 picks. I get the defense is great. But if we are going to give them all this credit, we should better give Texas A&M credit, even more so for going into what I think is very good, probably going to end up a 10-2 Notre Dame team. And don't kid yourself, at 10-2, the committee's going to have a hard-pressed time not putting them in.
And to me, at worst, a 9-3. They might split with Penn State and not Penn State, USC, and there's somebody else they play that you're like, you could see.
Yeah, NC State and Pitt.
Yeah, somebody.
Pitt lost the brawl.
Yeah, somebody.
To a Marchiol brother.
But I'm with you, Gabe.
I'm going, what have you done?
If A&M and LSU played neutral tomorrow, I would take A&M, and I know people are going to say, well, I think it'd be a hell of a game. I think it'd be a coin flip of a game, I think. But I think I would pick A&M because of that offense. And I know everybody's talking about LSU's defense, but Clemson's offense is trash. It's like really, really bad.
No speed at all.
They couldn't against Georgia Tech, against Troy, like you said, 3.5 points against the Trojans, the men of Troy. And then what they did against LSU with 1 touchdown, that's a piss poor offense, as my old high school baseball coach would say. That's piss poor effort. Yep. That's piss poor offense. And La Tech, they're up 10-3 or whatever it was at halftime, 10-0. So your defense has played La Tech, Clemson, and Florida. And look, Florida scored 10 against you. They scored 16 against South Florida at home. It's not a good offense. And you can say, well, they had 5 picks. Yeah, that's really impressive. I watched the interceptions. You and I playing in that secondary, and they still could have had 5 picks. We might have got one of them. One of their DBs could have grabbed us and said, here, Gabe, you catch this one. Like, that's how bad they were.
Yeah, so, free-for-all. It's like Oprah giving out cars back
I
in the
think
90s.
They're a byproduct of who they're playing right now. I think there's a much improved defense in Baton Rouge, but to sit there and call it the best in the country, I think it's way premature, and you're not factoring in who they're playing. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you. I wouldn't argue if you flip-flopped them, but I think you're right. I think you're on to something there.
All right. Does that give you an easy walk-in LSU?
Okay. I'm going LSU next.
Okay.
I think they're a top 10 team.
Sure.
And I think they're going to get better on offense. And if they do, then they're a legit playoff contender. They're not going to be if they don't.
Exactly right. All right. So I'm sitting here at number 9. I'm going to go. We've already picked. Let's see here. I'm going to go Oklahoma again. So double down on that. I think where we're at with Oklahoma, it's either Oklahoma or Texas right here, and I think you get into a different tier after that. And I'm going Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to beat them in a neutral site.
I do too.
I love their quarterback. He's got weapons. Burks is something else. And that's one thing that their head coach knows how to do is coach defense. And I think they're going to beat Auburn, Kent State, and take a 5-0 record to Dallas.
My man Josh Pate picked Texas. He picked A&M. I want to say he had, I don't know if it was his power poll or but he had A&M 10, Texas 11, I think LSU 12. So we're not that far off on this, but
no.
So if he's got the cojones and the stones to leave Texas out of his top 10, I think I am too. And I'm going to put him behind a 1-loss team. I'm going to put him behind Bama. And here's the deal.
Ooh.
I know Texas's loss is to a great Ohio State team, and Bama's loss is to a team that people think is good because they beat Bama. Texas's loss is they're not comparable. But Texas hasn't done anything to look good. And again, I know Bama did it against a really bad ULM team, and they did it against what I think is a really bad Wisconsin team, but it's still Wisconsin. And they absolutely throttled both of them. ULM and San Jose State and UTEP are not different. UTEP lost to Utah State. Okay? Texas has not looked impressive at all in the 2 games since playing Ohio State, which means they've looked not impressive at all in 3 games, whereas Alabama has looked impressive in their other 2 games. And Florida State kicked their ass, but that was still a 4-quarter game. That was a 7-point game in the fourth on the road in Tallahassee. So I am going to go with Bama in that spot.
All right, I'm going to put some pressure on you, Billy, because you know what? I'm a fan these days, and I can do that. And I can not pick Texas for the hell of it.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to be, all right, what is about to happen? I'm also trying to look at what does the slate look like?
Yep.
And I'm also looking at Illinois, but I also see that they have a tough game in Bloomington this week, followed by a home game with USC.
I think they're going to thump.
I think
Indiana.
So, too. This is a Brett Bielema type team.
Bielema is the man.
He is, and his quarterback's great. 8 touchdowns, no picks. He's playing very good. He's been there for a long time. He was an SEC player. You hear him say that Altmaier got offered millions of dollars to go to a high-profile SEC team, didn't even call Bielema and ask for a raise. How about that? I called you every 2 weeks asking for a raise.
Something.
You know?
No, that's not you. That's other people.
I'm going to go Georgia Tech, baby.
Wow.
Georgia Tech right here.
I love it.
I know you had them at 18, AP, the Ceases of the world, who I love, but credit Haynes King. He is one tough SOB, my man, and can really play. And he's a great leader. I'm so happy for him.
And you look at their schedule and who they play, and they could very well be playing for an ACC title.
Temple, Wake, Vatech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State. If they're not 12 today, they'll be 12 in 2 weeks. And if they're not 8 today, they'll be 8 in 6 weeks. They're just going to.
Yeah.
Then BC Pitt before Georgia.
I think it's Georgia Tech, Miami playing for the ACC title.
They're going to be undefeated, and they almost beat Georgia and Athens last year.
It's crazy.
Now they get them in hot land.
And they seemed on the ropes early against Colorado. That's what's wild about it.
Yeah.
All right, I love that one. And then for the 12th pick, I know we should. You kind of have to have a. We're not doing that.
We'll
right
do it
now.
later.
I would go Texas there, over Illinois, which is.
At least you had a decision to make.
If you're a Longhorn fan, you're playing Illinois this Saturday. How you feeling about that one?
Not good. Not.
I think they'll get. I would go on the side of them getting it right.
Yeah.
Before I'd go with. Again, they are 2-1, so I'll do that.
All right, put your earpiece in. Nick, grab me a battery so I can hear, and let's listen to Easton's Corner as we sort of close this out. A weekly take for my soon-to-be 13-year-old son.
Wow.
Here's Easton on the win over the Fighting Irish with a question for Looch at the end.
The number 8 Notre Dame on the road while overcoming 13 penalty flags. That's hard to do, especially at the start of the game. You had a punt return, or you had a punt block for a touchdown, and you're already down. Spirits are low. The chair on the sideline is just sitting there. They bring out every time. Amarje Reed just brings it out every time. And we thought it was over until Mario Craver went out there an 89-yard touchdown, 207 total receiving yards off of 7 receptions. That is 30 yards per catch and a touchdown. That 86-yard reception brought us back in the game. And Marcel Reed, he played amazing. I mean, 207 out of the 360 passing yards were from Mario Craver, and 82 were from Casey Concepcion. But he's just clutch. Statistically, the QBRs don't matter about everything, but they said CJ Carr played better than Marcel Reed. But Marcel Reed was just so clutch in that game. 4th down, and Burkitcher catches the game-winning touchdown. How do you think that placeholder on the extra point felt when they kept showing him on TV? Botched the snap. Almost made a great throw for the 2-point conversion. I'll give him credit for that. But botched the snap and lost them the game. That's just crazy that's how we won that. We also have to talk about Le'Veon Moss coming back from not playing at all in the first 2 games, having 20 carries for 81 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was consistent. Longest was 12 yards, 4.1 average. Everyone all around played great. Like the defense, we didn't completely stop the run. We gave up 162 rushing yards between those 2 running backs, Price and Love. But we stopped it more than we thought we would. I mean, everyone, the defense played great. Cassius Howell played great. Almost had that crazy interception. Back to Marcel Reed, though. The 5 Heisman candidates after week 3 of college football is Mateer at number 1, the Oklahoma quarterback. Castellanos at number 2, the Florida State quarterback. Carson Beck is 3 for Miami. Marcel Reed is 4 for A&M. And the running back for Missouri, he's 5, having 250 yards that game. And the question for you, Billy, today is, after beating Notre Dame, how many wins do you think Texas A&M will get this season?
There you go. Has the Notre Dame game impacted your win total drastically or at all?
Almost. It hasn't yet, and here's why, Easton. I had A&M winning 9, and to get to 9-3, the Aggies were going to have to either drop those ranked road games, those top 10 road games at night, and go 0-3 in those. Notre Dame, LSU, and Texas, and win all the other games, which is why 9 was really tough. I don't think people realize how good a team you'd have to be to go 9-3 on this schedule. But I thought they'd win one of those 3 and drop something else along the way and finish 9-3. That was kind of my pick. I was on the fence of 8-4, 9-3. Now I would certainly not be. I would be on the fence between 9-3 and them getting in the playoffs. I'm going to stick with 9-3. I've gone from gotta be careful how I say this, get clipped and get like a soft 9-3 to a stronger. Use that word. Stronger 9-3. I'll be honest with you guys. I start thinking I would change my prediction to 10 if the Aggies win their next 2. I think Mississippi State's a tougher matchup than people think. But I think if you beat Auburn and what that crowd will be for Mississippi State at night, that's an afternoon night game.
It's a night game, all black, right?
Yeah. If they do that, I would bump that to 10.
Yeah.
But I won't do it until then because you still would have Florida at Arkansas. So, to me, Gabe, Texas looks much more winnable. LSU, I wouldn't say looks much more winnable, but it looks a little more winnable. I think that South Carolina looks a lot more winnable. I think Arkansas, Missouri, and Mississippi State and Auburn all they look significantly tougher. Now, and Florida looks more winnable. So it's 3 look either more winnable to slightly, just a little more winnable. But to me, 4 of them look significantly tougher. So I'm not changing that win total yet, but I will say this. A&M can beat anyone on the schedule. And I've seen that plain as day through 3 weeks. And that is not something we absolutely knew coming in the season. I know that now. They can beat every team that lines up in front of them, but I don't think they showed enough at Notre Dame for me to go, man, they're just going to roll, because they're just going to play in a lot of close games until we start seeing that defense can play a lot better. And they've got a couple key injuries coming out of this one. So I'm tapping brakes on changing my season prediction yet. But, man, if they can defend their home turf, they are going to be a team that I think would almost be expected to be in the playoffs. I know Louis did that today after 1 win. I would do that if they win these 3 home games.
Yeah. Easton, by the way, dropping his top 5 Heisman. I don't know if he just read that somewhere or if he just coming up with his. I think the guy.
I think he came up with it because Castellanos was pretty damn high.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah, he had him second.
Yeah, so I think that's Easton's list.
There you go. All right, super rapid fire, 2-minute drill style. This is first blush. Your official pick is Friday, and I don't know if David's going to put all these in pick 6, but Auburn and Oklahoma first blush.
Yeah, I definitely could change my mind on these. I like Oklahoma at home.
Yeah.
I think Auburn's better than people think, but I like Oklahoma at home. I still don't think Auburn's offense is firing on enough cylinders in the passing game to win that one.
X factor. How does Jackson Arnold respond to the return home? That's interesting.
Does he melt down?
Florida at Miami. Are they giving away money with Miami only favored by 7.5?
It feels like it.
I may start sports betting at this point.
Yeah, give me Miami by 100.
All right, Tech at Utah. 17 versus 16. It's an early game, Salt Lake City. It's a tough game. Utah's favored by 3.5.
I'm actually, if I was betting line, give me Texas Tech.
Well,
and I hate betting against Whittingham.
Get this now.
Hate betting against Whittingham at home.
I know.
You've been there. You've seen what happens.
I know Barron's good. They've got an interesting offense, but let me tell you something else. Interesting nugget. Tech has not allowed a single point in the first 3 quarters this season until they have salted the game away and have put 3rd and 4th stringers in. Not a single point.
Okay. Now, with that said,
I know.
Can you tell me who Tech's played?
Yeah, the best team's Oregon State.
Yeah.
I know. I know. You're whispering.
The Beavers.
Look, I mean, they're going to be tested this bad. That's impressive.
Yeah.
A point?
Yeah, I mean, you do what you do against bad teams, right?
Yeah.
But still.
All right, Bielema versus a way bigger meathead in Signetti. Who wins this game in Bloomington? Hoosiers favored by 5.5, which I thought was interesting.
That's the meathead bowl, and I think Illinois is going to smack them.
Me too, man.
I think they're going to physically smack them.
I was shocked. I get home, but it's home in Bloomington. Come on, there's 37,000 people showing up.
I think Bielema is just going to run. They're going to run them over like Bielema would do to Signetti.
Yeah, exactly.
Signetti would think he's a tough guy until Bielema gets those mitts on him.
Yeah, it's like that's like some sort of movie script.
Yeah.
Wait till you meet Bielema, Signetti.
Yeah. No, I'm going with Bielema.
Last one, SMU at TCU. Horned Frogs home favorite by 6.5. I wonder if they have the best quarterback in that game.
I think they do.
Okay, Hoover.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them took a team to the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like TCU.
Okay.
I picked TCU the other day on a podcast with Amanda, and I think I'm sticking to that. I think I'll stick to that one all week, especially at home. You know where I'm going this weekend, Gabe? I think I might go Friday night to the Washington County Fair.
Oh, okay.
To see Randall King.
All right.
Part of me would love to go
Randall
back
King. Is
Saturday.
he an old intern here?
Maybe. Part of me would like to go see Gary Allen the next night, Saturday. I love Gary Allen's music. But I think Saturday I'm going to take a little trip up to Waco and watch Baylor and Arizona State at 6:30.
I think the Bears are going to win that game.
I do too. I think it'll be
that
fun.
magic is not there right now in Tempe.
I think it'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, you should watch Holt Goodwin playing quarterback over there at Good Salt.
Balling.
Oh, yeah. He's doing good, man.
I love it.
Absolutely. All right. Episode 4 in the books, and we'll enjoy that bye week. It's going to be fun. Easton's got a baseball tournament in Houston, so we got that going, which is outstanding. All right. Meet us right back here at TexAgs.com/live and the TexAgs YouTube channel every Wednesday, high noon for Looch and Bock. Bye week, and then we're all about Auburn next week. So meet us right back here, same time. Gig 'em, let the good times roll. We'll talk to you then.